There we go. It's good to have audio.
Yeah, so it's been a few weeks since we have done our live show.
It has. It has
baseball.
been a few weeks. It is. We have baseball. There's been just a crazy amount of things going on, just personal life and stuff. And then even releasing videos this year, the weather just has not really cooperated. Then we had a GoPro thing happen, so it's just been one of those things that we've been trying to get out content, but just family life and things get in the way, and that's okay because that's enjoyable.
Graduation season.
Graduation season's upon us as well, and our oldest is graduating this year, so that's fun as well. But in any case, if you are joining us this evening for this live show, thank you for taking the time to do that. Make sure you like like the channel, like this video, like the live stream. What are we doing here? We're liking the things.
It's been so long, you don't know what to say.
I know, yeah. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, let us know that you're here. Just do all those YouTube things. We do appreciate it very much. But tonight we are talking tackle. And one of the reasons why I thought to talk tackle with you guys is because a lot of times I think we as fishermen, we anglers, we carry so much extra stuff that we don't actually use.
Yeah, makes it heavy.
Yeah, a lot of extra weight, especially if you're a shore-based fisherman or even if on your boat, you just have limited amount of space. And so what I have work to do is to say, what are the things I actually use? What are the things that I'm actively going to put into the water? And what are things I just don't? And what I found was I carry around a lot of stuff I don't actually use. And I really have no plans to use. But, you're supposed to have like this thing in your box if you're a fisherman. And that's really been a little bit of my challenges. So I went through and I was like, I'm just going to reduce. I'm going to cut down on things that do. I know the way we like to fish. I know how we normally fish, and there are certain things we do every time, and then there are certain things we never do. And so I have my tackle box here, and I use the Plano, the ones that look like this. They have the compartments that you can customize. Those are the ones that I use. I found they hold up pretty decently over time. I've got two different ones, but I have reduced, and this is for saltwater fishing. Now I know if you are a freshwater angler, you're going to have a lot more spinner baits, you're going to have a lot more lures, so it's going to be a little bit different. I thought about doing a freshwater edition for this, but this is for saltwater, so understand that going in. And so I just thought I'd show you some things, and if you have questions or if you say, hey, how do you use that or whatever it is, then please let's talk about it. Let's see what it is. The first box, and I carry 2 boxes now. I've reduced down to 2 boxes, and the one is a bigger compartment box. Like this one's the thinner design. There you can kind of see it's kind of a thinner design. And then I carry one that is a deeper design. So you can see how that's a little deeper. And the reason why is because it fits different things into it. And so I'll show you what I have in my box. The first thing I do is I pre-make my rigs. So like these are 3/0 single drops, and actually with my 3D printer, I make these little lure holders as well. So if you are interested in those, I'm thinking about selling them. I'm thinking about it because people have asked me about them. So that's what we have there. But I pre-make my rigs. So I've got my rigs. I've got 3/0 single drop. I've got 5/0 single drops. I've got 1/0 as well. And then we also got the double drops here, so they're in here as well. You can kind of see how they are there in here.
And this allows for surf or pier.
Surf, pier, a lot of different applications. You see these I tie with the swivels on the end. The single drops are going to be tied with a snap on the end, so you can put a weight on it. So it just depends on the application there. But I pre-make my rigs before I go out because it saves so much time. You're out there, you want to go fishing. It's not the time to tie up rigs.
Stuck down on the bottom.
Yeah,
you retie.
yeah. Because they always say that if you're going to get hung up if you're fishing in the right spots. Like if you have the jetties, you're going to lose tackle.
Yeah.
If you're a fishing structure, you're going to lose tackle. That's just the name of the beast. So you're going to make sure that you have plenty of rigs and you have the right type of rigs for the things that you do in your application. For me, we do certain applications, so I tie my rigs specifically for those applications. And then because of our refish, I carry popping corks with me. These are the ones that I'm making again, and I'm thinking about selling these as well. But I carry some popping corks. We have used different popping corks, but again, that's just something that these are standard things we use every time. And so we're going to go out there, we're going to have the things that we use and put it in practice. I do carry this as well, and I don't know why. I thought about taking these out of my box.
The little trout.
Yeah, there's little double drops for trout. And they work well.
They work on piers.
They work on piers really well under lights and things like that. They do work. And so I keep them in there. Probably don't need to keep them in there, but I do. In this box here, I also put my different paddle tail lures and things like that I'm going to be taking. I take a selection there of paddle tails when we go out, and also gulps as well. So, and the gulps I keep in a separate container that's locked with a screw down thing. Because if you get that gulp juice on you, it's like you never get it off. So, in any case, so do make sure that you are, I would just say highly recommend to pre-tie your rigs and make sure that you've got that so that you know what's going on, you're ready for it. And if you lose a tackle, you can go right back into it. And then in my second box that I have, I'll start off with the terminal tackle because you have to have certain terminal tackle, and then I'll go into the different things I have in here. I do carry extra swivels, right? Because you're going to need those. Those are important. Have swivels. And I do carry snaps, and the snaps are simply for weights to hang on to. So I do carry that. This might surprise some of you, especially if you're bass fishermen, but I carry 2 sizes of worm weights. And these are great for Texas rigs, for fishing around the jetties, for fishing structure, because they have that point, and so they don't get snagged as easy. And so I carry 2 different kinds of those. So if I'm fishing structure, and these still get hung up, they still get lost, we do that. But we catch flounder using them and different things. So I do carry those. And that might surprise you because they're mainly used for bass fishing. But I do carry those.
Yeah. You got a little bit extra weight to tie,
or
to keep the shrimp down. If you got too much current, that split shot's really helpful.
Yeah, so I do carry some split shots with me in there. Those are important. And then I carry different sizes of, and then 3 different sizes actually, of
egg weights.
Of these egg weights.
Little sinkers.
Because these are used for Carolina rigs. These are used for a lot of different applications. If you've ever used them, the line goes through the middle there. And then you can put your swivel on one side with your bead, and so I do carry extras of those as well. If you don't put a bead on, it's not the end of the world. The bead just simply helps it from slamming against the. But I pre-rig those so that they're all ready to go anyway. And then there's different ones there. So there's a bigger one.
Yeah. Okay. And then you got some pyramid weights.
I do have some.
Those get stuck a lot, but if you're beach
weights.
fishing, you can use them.
Beach fishing, pier fishing. Even from the jetties you can, but you're going to lose them. You're definitely going to lose them. And I carry those as well, and I carry 1 ounce and also 2 ounce. I don't go bigger than 2 ounce. If I need bigger than 2 ounce, then
you need your beach weight.
Yeah, it's just not a good day for that. So that's really in the way of terminal tackle. That's what we got there.
Those pink ones.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Then for hooks, I use, and now this, before I show you this is important for you depending on where you are in your locations. In some places you can't use these hooks. I don't use treble hooks unless I'm fishing for catfish and I'm putting stink bait on them or something, so I don't carry them with me. But in some places you can only use certain hooks. Even for in Texas, we have to use circle hooks. I think it's a certain type of, if you fish for sharks.
Yeah, fishing for sharks.
So there are certain things. I never fish for sharks. If I catch a shark, it's a byproduct. I bycatch. I didn't mean to. That's always going to be mine. That's what I'm going to say. But I use these. These are called kale hooks. And you can see on the kale hook how the shaft of the hook, and it has a wide gap there. And the reason why I use these is because these are great for all kinds of different baits. You can use these for cut bait, you can use it for shrimp, you can use it for live bait. They're very versatile, and they catch all. They're very good for all kinds of different catches. And so I carry 3 different sizes. I carry 1, 3, and then the big guys, 5s. That's what I carry in my box. And here's a little a trick for keeping them so they don't get all bunched up.
Safety pin.
Put them on a safety pin, just like that. And that way you can just take one off and you don't have to untangle your hooks while you're out there. So I do carry those 3 different sizes there of Kahle hooks. I just find that they're very versatile. That you can catch everything with them. But in some places you can't use them. Some places you have to use circle hooks. I don't use J hooks. I think you get a lot more gut. Get a lot more gut hooked. I don't really have problems with these guys getting gut hooked.
No, usually the side of the mouth.
Normally right in the side of the mouth. They're kind of like a hybrid, and so I don't really have that problem. All right, let's see what else we got here. We have these guys.
Got your little
weighted
shrimp.
Weighted shrimp. It's a pre-weighted shrimp. Some people don't like that. They want to do it themselves. But I've got a couple of different flavors. I've got this one.
One's called a ghost, I think.
Yeah, with the chartreuse tail. I don't know if you can really see it. It's chartreuse tail. And then I've got this one. It's got the red speck in it with the chartreuse tail. And then I carry a natural as well.
They've all caught?
And they've all caught fish. They've all done very well.
They're not called DOAs. But
no, these are voodoo.
Voodoo shrimp.
These are voodoo shrimp. They are unscented, so I do use some Dr. Juice on them, some scent to help with attracting the fish. So I carry 3 different flavors of those. This one with the red fleck, where we are right now, and this one with the ghost with the yellow tail. These are the ones that do the best because of the water we're fishing right now. So know your water and pick the flavor that works best. I say flavor, I don't know what you're supposed to call them, but
color.
I don't know. Pick the one that works best for your water. When we were down in Corpus and the water's a little clearer, the natural worked a lot better. So I've actually thought about pulling the natural out of my box because I just don't use it here because the water's so muddy and things, and it just doesn't get seen as well. So I do carry those lures in there. Now, I do carry the paddle tails and the gulps and things like that, but I carry that in my big box. But because these come out of the packaging, and then once the packaging come out of the packaging, putting them back in is just tough. So I put them there. All right, what else we got? Okay, jig heads. Jig heads are important. We use jig heads not only for lures but also for live shrimp. We use it for. I haven't used it for mullet or anything like that, or croaker, but we do use live shrimp with jig heads. I like the Z-Man trout eyes and the Z-Man redfish eyes, 2 different kinds there, and you can see the different eyes on them. That's the green ones, and then here is the other one. So just a slightly different coloring there.
And the weight.
And the weight.
Yeah. Slightly different.
Here's where it gets fun. You have to select the weight for your jig head that's going to get you in the place in the water column you want to be. If you're fishing shallow water, you want a lighter jig head. If you're fishing in deeper water, you want a heavier jig head because you want to be able to get down to where the strike zone is. So that's important. And so I carry those, and these are. I think these are not quarter ounce. These are like 1/16 or something. I think, or 3/8. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they're 3/8 or.
They're not the 1/16.
No, the 3/8. That's what you usually buy. And then 2 weekends ago, we fished with these red.
Yeah, I'll show you those in a second because those were killer.
Yeah.
And I did invest in 2 different types of those now because I learned some things. When we were out, and I wish I could. Oh man, that was a trip I wish I could have shown you. That was one of the ones our GoPro messed up on, and I couldn't show you. But man, we had so much content in that video that would have been great. And then I get home, my GoPro was on burst picture mode.
Yeah.
And I had like 10,000 pictures on the GoPro, so I was like, oh.
But we caught so many fish.
And I learned some things out there. Let's see what a senior Mysterioso says. I'm currently doing the same thing, spring cleaning and reducing, going from a 3-tray box to 2-tray. Also splitting up my tackle with different purposes like surf bag, jetty bag. And I like that. I really do. Having different purpose bags, and that way you know what's in your bag and you know where it is, and you're not carrying things out there that you're not going to use, especially if you're going out on the jetties or the surf. There's two different applications. There's going to be things you just don't need to carry with you. So I really like that. I think that's really smart. And he says, an offshore bag. Any overflow, soft plastic hooks, leftover line, etc. goes in an old tackle box that stays home for restocking. Exactly. And again, I know that organization isn't the... people look at it and go, oh man, we have to... Keeping your tackle organized and knowing what you're doing with it and knowing how you like to fish.
Can save time.
Yeah.
And frustration.
Yeah, because you don't want to be digging through your bag looking for something, and then you're like, I carry this thing around. I'll give you an example. When I was jetty fishing, I always carried silver spoons with me. Never knew when the Spanish mackerel were going to be there. Never knew when you're going to do. But having a silver spoon was always helpful. Now that I'm doing a lot of boat fishing and we don't have access to jetties like that, I don't even have a silver spoon in my bag. If I was going to the jetties or something like that, I would definitely put a silver spoon, and I probably would take out some of these guys. I'd probably put in silver spoons. But I like that, Senior Mysterio, so that having the surf bag, the jetty bag, the pure bag, the offshore bag, having different tackle and knowing I'm going to use it in this application, and I think that makes us smarter anglers. I do. It makes us smarter anglers. Okay, so let me show you this. I've got different ones here, and I'll show you the one that we were using for the both best effect, and I'll show you one that I just invested in, and show you how they use. These are the jig heads here. And if you notice, this one, the way that it sits with the hook up. And this tore up the black drum. Because they're on the bottom, and that hook sat up, and they'd come down, and boom.
And for some reason, we fished with bottom rigs, popping corks. We're not getting
wouldn't touch
hit.
it.
And then we switched to this red
guy.
one. And
Every
we ended up almost limiting out completely.
Yeah, in like an hour and a half. I mean, it was just like big ones,
just small ones, like
matter.
Everybody was hitting it.
Yeah, and then what was funny was you see, if I had the video, I'll show you. There was a guy that was coming over to, and you can see how this one does the same thing. It sits up.
Another boat
came over
next to us, and he couldn't capture one of them.
No,
and I don't know what tackle he was using.
He was throwing lures, and he wasn't getting very far down into the water column, and it just wasn't working for him. So here's another one.
That's weird, because I would say there was literally hundreds of black drum down there, but without the right tackle, we didn't get to them until finally we figured out what they wanted.
We tried the popping corks, did not work. We tried. We tried popping corks. We tried bottom rigs. We tried like a Carolina rig.
I had this red one, and I was just hooking up, and finally you're like, I'm switching.
Yeah. So having the right tackle for the right.
But you switched to a lighter jig head, and it didn't work.
Didn't work.
So it had to be at least a quarter ounce. It needed to get down.
Yeah, it had to be. And the good thing about a jig head like this, having the weight that it's weighted like this, when it goes down, if you're in structure. We did get hung up with them, but we could get them off.
Yeah,
because they were hitting the structure, and it just worked out. I was hoping some sheep's head were going to be there, because I thought this would be great for sheep's head as well. So I went online and I was doing research on this. So I've seen people use them. They're called like bottom sweeper, I think. So I was looking for those, and they're really expensive. It's like, I'm not paying all that for jig heads I know I'm going to lose. But I did find these guys, and I put them in my box, and I am looking forward to trying them. They are called Yellow Snapper jigs.
They look a lot smaller.
Yeah, made by Mustad. Yellow Snapper rigs, jigs. These are 1/4 inch size, a quarter inch weight, and they look like this.
You mean quarter ounce?
Quarter ounce, sorry. 1/4 ounce, and look like this.
So they're smaller, even though they're quarter.
They're smaller, but they'll get down. They're 1/4 ounce.
So a smaller mouth fish, like a black drum or a sheep's head.
Or snapper. Some of the snapper species, like the ones that we could catch down in Padre and stuff. A mangrove snapper. They have smaller mouths, but definitely you can hook a redfish on this. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can definitely get it.
But you have to put a smaller shrimp on that.
Well, you just put it through the tail, I think. Let the shrimp just kind of sit out there for the tail and eat it. You could hook it through the horn, I guess, too. But I'm interested to try it. I'm gonna put it in my box right now, but I'm gonna try them because I think, especially where we are, bouncing things off the bottom. Now, with this jig, you can tell it's not made for rigging a soft plastic or a gulp or anything like that. And you can see the difference. That's made for rigging onto a soft plastic, okay, or a gulp or something like that. But notice the weight on this one is spread out more, so it's not really made for that. This is definitely going to be for
a piece of bait to put on there, yeah.
And I'm even thinking if it's a calm day in the surf, these would be good. Because you could pop them, and if you were going for a whiting or something like that, I think that this would actually be pretty decent as well for that. So I'm interested to try them. They're going in my box right now, and we'll see what happens as a result. So those are some things. The other things I do carry in there, some terminal tackle. I do carry some beads. Just in case I need them, if I need to tie up some additional rigs with floats as well, also in my box as well. But believe it or not, that's my inshore saltwater box. That's what I'm going to take if I'm going to the piers. That's what I'm going to take if I'm going out in boat.
Do you take extra leader line?
I do, but that's that. I do take leader line and stuff. But I'm talking about just physically tackle in the box. Yeah, but we have leader line. You have scissors. You have things like that you need to. Yeah, that you need to have as well. But as for tackle, this is what we take. And the reason why I started thinking about this is because I was thinking about guides that we've gone out with. They have a style of fishing they do.
And I'm sure they had to find a way to simplify it.
Yeah, and because they can't carry everything. And so what they're doing is they're taking a tackle out that they use consistently, that they're confident in. And I think that's a piece of it too, guys.
Yeah. Plus they need to know what to replace. When something goes missing or you need to order something, it's not like, oh, what should I get this time? You know?
No, right.
It's I'm going to replace it with this because I'm low on these.
Right. I know that that's what I use, and I think one of the underrated things that we don't consider when we're fishing is our confidence factor. If we're throwing something and we're not confident that we're going to catch fish in it, I think it affects how we present it. And I think that it's just, if we're like, man, I never catch anything on this lure, or I'm not good with hard baits or whatever it is, and you start throwing hard baits or top waters and you don't have that confidence in it, I think that really does make a big difference, because even for you got confident using gulps now. And so what's the first thing you put on?
A chartreuse scope.
Yeah, because that's where our confidence level is.
Like a little mullet.
Yeah, so why carry the things that you don't use? And maybe, if you carry, like next time, I'll have a rod rigged up with these guys. And if we start catching fish in a location, I'm going to throw it. I'm going to say, look, I've been catching fish on other things. So now let me put this on, and let me see if we can hook up on and get some confidence there. So, yeah, Senior Mysterio, so it does. He said the yellowtail snapper hook kind of looks like a pompano goofy jig. It does have that same type of thing, but I think for pompano it'd be perfect for smaller mouths. Again, the server that would be pretty calm for you to do that, but I'm interested to try them. I really am. I think they kind of an interesting thing. They weren't expensive either. For a pack of 10, they were like $6 or something like that. So not terribly expensive. The bottom sweeper jigs, they wanted like two for it was like 2 for 10 or something like that. They were like $5 a piece. They were ridiculous. And I can't find these guys anymore. I don't even know where I ever got them. I've only got one left.
Yeah.
So I do not know where I got them. But in any case. So that's what's in my box. I'd love to hear. What am I missing?
Gander Mountain going out of business. We picked them up real cheap.
Oh, Gander Mountain. They were going out of business. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me know what I'm missing. If I'm missing something, you say, hey, you forgot this, or hey, you probably want to carry this, or hey, what about this, or do you think that? Let me know in the comments. I'm in the chat as well, because I'd love to be able to hear. I'm not a perfect fisherman by any sense. Karen and I, we're still learning. We're still learning this area. So if there's something we're missing, let us know.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably something else you could put in your box, so
yeah,
you can tell us what we're missing.
And also, if you think these are kind of a custom little design there that I was doing on my 3D printer for holding rigs, I was trying to figure out how to get rigs to be able to be held without them being a mess. I was using little plastic baggies, but I don't like taking plastic baggies out on the water because they fly out of the boat and stuff like that, and I don't like polluting, so I started making those. So if you're interested in those too, let us know. And that brings us to
rods?
Unsolicited advice,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Unsolicited advice. Here we go. All right, for unsolicited advice, we are going to the premier fishing and hunting Discord server.
Okay.
If you are not a member of our Discord server, it's somewhere where a lot of anglers hang out and things like that. It's ran by our buddy Stanley Orchard, the founder of that. I think I can give you a link here in the chat as well to the Discord server. So if you are interested in coming and joining us over there, please do, because what I'm doing is I'm taking the questions there from the Discord server, and hopefully it's helpful to those that are asking the questions. Trying to do that, okay.
Moving those boxes
Okay,
for
all right.
you.
Moving the boxes. All right. So here's the question. Rod recommendations. And again, if you're in the chat, let us know what you think about this, because this is an interesting one. Rod recommendations. 8-foot inshore. Now that was a strange thing for me when I first read that, just that type. And this comes from Daiwa Enjoyer.
Okay. I usually, the longest I would do is 7.
Yeah, this
So
was a different
8 foot
thing.
is
I was like,
weird.
8 foot. 8 foot's a long rod for inshore. And he didn't say whether he's going to be on jetties, boat, a wade fishing.
The thing is normally everyone wants a rod that fits in their truck bed.
Yeah.
So 8 foot,
8 foot
is usually too long.
You're gonna
fit
have
in
to have-
there, so
you're gonna
it's
have-
very abnormal.
It's got to be 2 pieces then.
And that you usually don't use for inshore with the 2 pieces. So
No.
this is strange.
No, it is strange. So, but he says preferably cork handle, but I just need something that's fast and can handle 1 to 3 ounces. I'm thinking of buying the 2019 Shimano Terramar 8 foot, and then he had something
We
else,
can't see what's right.
XHFSE, which I guess is the model that he's looking at there. All right, so there's some things that I thought we could talk about, but again, let us know in the chat what you think. But I don't know that I'd go with an 8 foot rod for an inshore rod. That's my first thing. I've never gone with a rod that long. Matter of fact, one of the rod I just landed that big red on was 9 foot, but that was off of jetties because I have to cast for. So maybe the only thing I can think of is maybe he's trying to cast further.
Like inshore as in from like where we were on a bay inshore,
Yeah, I
perhaps
don't
you're
know.
on the side, maybe, but it might have to be in 2 pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
If so, I just go with 9 foot.
Yeah. So
Why not?
what I would like this one, and I'm gonna show you a couple different rods that I use, and I know these are not all available in all locations. 'Cause I think this one is an Academy if you're in Texas. You can order them online though. But this is the one that is kind of my default rod, and it's called an AS Classic, an All-Star Classic. It's a 7 foot rod, and let me see if I can show you the stats on it. There it is. Oh no, you can't see that. Let me get a little closer. There we go. Yeah, it's a 7 foot rod, and it's going to be the action's going to be fast, medium line. It's going to take 8 to 14 pound test, and it's going to handle anything up to 2 ounces. So this, or you can do 3 ounces on it for sure. But this is a great rod, and they're very inexpensive. These rods are $50, and they come with the cork handle as well. And I've got this paired with a Shimano Sahara, 2500. But these are great rods. These are solid rods. I have a bunch of them. I'm not worried if they break. I'm not worried handing them to a kid. I'm not worried about handing them to one of my relatives.
They're great with throwing some cut bait out, letting
Yeah,
it sit,
these
because
are-
whatever goes down, it can handle it.
Right. We've caught plenty of big fish on here. I've used them in the surf. I've used them on piers. I've used them on jetties. I mean, I've just used them on the boat. I've used them everywhere. So these are great rods. I would highly recommend them. The AS Classic. That's our go-to rod. I said if I'm taking the kids out, if I'm taking family out, this is the rod I'm handing them, because if they break it, it's $50. It's not going to break my bank. So that's one I do highly recommend. I think it's a great rod for what it does. Now my rod, I will show you this one. My rod, now I use one a little bit different because I'm throwing lures a lot of times. I don't use this one for popping corks. I don't use it for a cut bait sitting on bottom or anything like that. This is for my lures for jigging and things like that. And it is a Falcon. See that? It's a Falcon.
I think it's the Wade
and it's the
one.
Yes, it's the Wade Fisherman series there for Falcon. It's also paired with a Shimano Sahara 2500 as well. It is 6'6". It is 6 foot 6 inches, and it is also it's the Wade Fisherman, so it's medium action. It's got a little bit of a better tip for jigging, but it also comes with that cork handle that I like as well because I think that's a great handle. You don't have to. It's your preference whether how you like it weighted, but this is another one that I would recommend. This one you can get just about anywhere. It'll run you about $100 or so. But it's a really solid rod, really good rod, and I have enjoyed it. Caught a lot of good fish on it. Has great action, and so I would definitely recommend that one. For Karen got spoiled this year.
Yeah, I was saying I used to use this other one over here.
You want to grab that one? We can show them that one too. Just watch that tip. Before we show them how you got spoiled. Mm-hmm. This is this is the one I've been using now. I've not been using the Falcon as much.
I used to use the Wade Fisherman one, yeah.
This is I've been using the Falcon now too, but this one is the one that I like. This is a TFD Professional. And this is a 6'6" as well. Same type of thing. It's got the cork grip. It's also paired with a Shimano Sahara 2500. And this is a great rod. Again, about $100, so it's not going to absolutely kill you. But it's 6'6", medium, and it'll handle anything up to about a half up. But again, I don't use this rod for popping corks. I don't use it for putting cut bait on the bottom. This is for jigging. It's a very lightweight rod, and it's great. Really great rod. This is the one that I select. I've been using this one and the Falcon have been the two that I've been doing because Karen, like I said, got a little spoiled this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had her. I had a guy here that in the area that we live do a custom design rod for her.
So this is the one I got for Christmas here. And it has our We Go Fishing label there, but it's nice and light, but...
It's also 6'6". Mm-hmm. And 6'6", the reason why I'm saying 6'6" is 6'6" does tend to be a great weight for the riding. You see, it's got custom action, and it's got a custom...
Yeah, this one helps me cast even farther, just...
Yeah. And this is with a Penn. This one I put a Penn Spin Fisher on it. Penn Spin Fisher 2500 is what's on this one. I had this weighted out for her, and I got the custom work done on it. But the nice thing about this rod is it's very lightweight, and it's got great action. You're able to feel. It's a custom rod, mm-hmm. so it's a different game.
Mm-hmm. So I can use it for jigging, but also live bait if I want to use some free lining. I can feel a little bit better, as well as even throwing lures.
Yeah, so it's very versatile. It's very good. Traveling Fools, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight in the chat. So those are the rods that we have been using. You notice that the inshore rods that I use they're 6'6" rods. The ACS is a 7-foot rod. It's a little bigger, but it's not that much bigger. So I don't know why inshore rod you wouldn't want to go with something that's 8 foot. Like I said, unless you're on the J's, you're trying to cast really far or something, or you're looking to get some jacks maybe or something. But then I usually use a
9-foot rod.
Yeah.
That comes apart.
Yeah, because the 9-foot rod, there's an ugly stick 9-foot rod that comes apart, and so that's what we use. But Karen's, but for inshore 6'6" should handle. Man, we've caught big fish on these rods. I don't know that we would need anything bigger. I've caught the big black drum on them. I've caught alligator gar on them.
I mean, they catch big fish, and my tiny pink rod can catch a big old fish.
yeah. Her tiny little. She says tiny little pink rod, but again, it's a 6'6". But I just thought it was.
They say it's a girly rod, but it doesn't. It's not really a girly rod. It actually
got the
performs
nice coloring
quite well.
It's got Yeah, so it's not going to be, but thank you, yes, Senior Mysterio. So it's a good rod, and it's pretty, and I think it's, and now we don't have to worry about who's fishing with whose rod. You know, she's going to fish with hers, and I'll fish with mine.
Because I always grab yours.
Always grab mine. You know, it's just like one of those things. But if you're going out there, I would go, if I'm picking an inshore rod, what I'm going to be picking, something with light to medium action. And I'm going to be picking something that's 6'6" to 7 foot. I'm really not going above that. I don't know if that helps anybody for Daiwa. If you ever do watch the Daiwa Enjoyer, if you ever do watch this this video, I would definitely, and I don't know the Shimano Terramar. I almost Googled it to find out what it is. But I don't think you're going to need anything fast to medium. Is what normally we're going to be using. Medium action or fast to medium, so that's what we're going to be using. So, matter of fact, I thought about maybe I could do it real quick, just Google. Let me see if I put this over here. And let's see, Google it real quick. Let's see, and he said it was the 2019 Shimano Terramar. Let's see what comes up. Ooh, well, I'll set you back a few coins.
189 or 139?
Yeah, you guys can see that. That's the rod he's talking about there. And that's a 7 foot.
That's a 7.
I don't see. They're all 7s. Oh, there's an 8.
Oh.
Extra heavy. Eesh. I don't know why. I mean.
Okay, so the 8 foot is extra heavy fast. So I was going to say most of them come in as 7.
The only thing I can figure is he wants to get in some.
What kind of fish does he want? He's thinking big.
Maybe he's thinking he's going to be
inshore, like inshore sharks?
Jacks, maybe. Maybe he's getting into some jacks or something. He wants something big like that. I don't know. But I wouldn't pay $200 for. I mean, Karen's custom rod was like $200.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, $250.
But still, you're right in the same ballpark as that one. It's not even a custom rod. So
if you're an amateur, it's not the first thing.
If you're gonna go get that, get yourself something that's custom for what you want. What does Senior Mysterio say?
They didn't specify spinning or casting.
Yeah, they didn't say whether spinning or casting. That's gonna be it too, because
They might not know that they probably shouldn't buy that when it says heavy. It says fast, but maybe they think, oh, I want to catch the big fish, and so I have to get the heaviest one. But they don't understand that if you're inshore fishing, you don't want to throw that and throw that and throw that and throw that.
It's going to wear you out. That's a rod that you're going to throw in your. It's
not very versatile because if you want to throw a lure, you're going to get worn out doing it.
I mean, even when you see guys that are throwing 3-ounce spoons.
But notice he said he wants 1 to 3 ounces. So if he's going to throw out a heavy rod 8 feet with 3 ounces of weight,
it's going to wear you out.
I mean, he won't even be able to feel the fish he's catching.
No. Well, I mean, but like, I caught that.
It really depends on where he's fishing.
I caught the biggest red of my life on that 9 foot, 9 foot ugly stick, and I think it would have been easier to handle that fish on my smaller rod.
I had a. It wasn't the rod that was the problem. The reel busted on.
The reel
fish.
is what. Yeah, the reel's what gave out. It wasn't the. It wasn't the rod. The rod.
I have caught like an almost 40-pound black drum on a 6 foot light action rod, and still brought it in.
Still brought it in. Yeah.
Rod did not break.
So if you're going so again, just to I guess go back. If you're going to be talking inshore, 6'6" to 7, it's probably what you need to be looking at. Medium action is
with
going to
the
be better.
exception of when he says inshore, that he doesn't mean Gulf. You know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, inshore. I mean, but even if you're going for stripers, and my brother goes for stripers up in Maryland, and he's not using anything that heavy. So I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Maybe that's helpful to you. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just something to stop at. But let us know what you think in the comments. If you have, if you're watching the replay later on, you say, "Hey, here's some tackle that you probably should carry." Or, "Oh, don't go out without this." Let us know what you think, because we're always looking to learn, and I'd love to hear the comments on the rods as well. Our plans for this weekend is not fishing.
Rain, and more rain.
It is rain. We had terrible storms last night with tornado warnings up.
Oh, man.
So that was crazy.
Our pool is flooded.
The water here in our bay system for Sabine Lake is fresh. All the way down the lake, almost 3/4 of the lake now is fresh, and fishing there is tough.
Yeah.
And they're talking about releasing more water.
And if you don't know, it's supposed to be salt water.
Yeah. And they're talking about releasing more water into it.
So those fish are going somewhere else.
Anyway. Everyday Laguna Madre. Hey, where are you guys located? Great show. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. That makes it right. Thank you. We are in the Sabine. We are in Sabine area. It's in Orange, Texas. Jefferson County,
we can
Sabine
fish
Lake,
Sabine Lake, Port Neches. We can fish the Gulf
Port
of
Arthur,
Mexico. We can
Keith
also hit Keith Lake. We can also hit freshwater lakes like Toledo Bend is close by. Right?
So we are right on the Texas-Louisiana border in that area there. So, and we've been Sabine Lake's an incredible fishery.
Yeah, and normally it is so salty that the trout are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But the past 2 months, the rain has been an issue. That the rivers that flow into it are bringing in too much fresh water, and so they're kind of going into different locations. Yeah. They're getting deeper. They're getting harder to find. Yeah,
and my understanding is Toledo Bend is. I'll get to that in a second. No way. Toledo Bend is getting ready to release more water into the Sabine, so it'll be. It's just supposed to put the clickbait laugh out loud. Here's the funny thing. Okay, I didn't have time to make a thumbnail because I wasn't sure we were doing. I was supposed to be at a baseball game tonight because my son was supposed to have a baseball game. I got canceled. Wasn't sure we were going to be able to do the live show, so I really didn't have time to deal with a thumbnail. So what I did literally was I went on the AI generated images and I said I want a woman holding a tackle box. And that's what it gave me. And I was like, and Karen came in, she looked at it, she goes, she gives me the eyes of like, I was like, the AI has demanded it must be.
Well, at least no way is on my side.
It's on your side, yeah. It's a little clickbaity, I know. But what are you going to do? You got to get views somehow, I suppose. I don't know.
What?
It's not even a real person, so it doesn't even really count, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway. Thanks a lot, No Way, for bringing it up. Appreciate it. Anyway. Hopefully you are having some great plans for this coming weekend. He also says that he's raining and windy in Waco on my weekends. Trash spring for me. It really has
Waco.
been.
I wonder if you fish Lake Belton. So from what I've heard, it's underfished, and my sister, who loves to fish, doesn't catch very much anywhere because they have a ski boat, and so they don't sit very long to let her fish. But when they go to Lake Belton, she's pretty much pulling them in left and right, and so she doesn't know what is the deal with Lake Belton. She loves to go down there because she can cast a rod from not really cast, she has to drop it because of their big canopy.
It's a ski boat.
It's a ski boat. She can drop the rod down and catch things. And so she gets excited. So I don't know if you have any comments on Lake Belton and whether we should go and check that out, because if fishing is that easy on that lake, maybe we should. So of course he's saying it's windy, but
it's windy and it's been windy. It's like been Texas this spring.
I know it's near Waco. That's all I've heard is that it's
Lake
near.
Belton's near Waco. Okay.
So maybe you can put in the comments if you ever fish there.
Yeah, let us know if you've ever fished there, and let us know if you have weekend plans that look promising. I know if you were a beach angler, there's no drivable beach right now, from my understanding. All down the coast, they were there. So, so it's let's see. Everyday Laguna Madre, I've been a sub of your channel under my fantasy football channel name, Just Dak, for a moment. We're in Corpus, Surf and Bay. Good luck out there. This north wind keeps killing the water. It really has. And that's you're right. It's the north wind. Mm-hmm. We need some good southwest, southeast winds to. It's needed. There's so much fresh water in the bay system right now. And hey, thanks for subbing to the channel. Much appreciated that. I'm glad that hopefully it's been a good experience along on this adventure. And No Way says it's low. I go to Temple Lake Park. I'll have to try. Caught some cats in there, mostly Lake Whitney. The lake is recovering Belton. Okay, so there
If
you
it's
go.
low, we have all the water if you want it. We have
We've got
plenty of
Plenty
water.
of water.
They're going to
Plenty
be
of water.
releasing
Yeah.
water. I mean, we have so much.
So
water.
much, yeah. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for interacting in the comments. Like I said, let us know in the comments if you have tackle suggestions or rod suggestions or things like that. And we'll hopefully get back on track once baseball season starts winding down. Stuff we'll be doing the live shows on Mondays this weekend. I was able to squeak this one in just because the games got canceled tonight. So until next time.
May the fish be with you.